Let's talk about the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans have a golden opportunity to go out there and turn everything around for their franchise. They have the first overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft, and they have a lot of money to play with in free agency. But obviously, the biggest elephant in the room is their offensive production, well, lack thereof, at the quarterback position. Now, executive came out a couple weeks ago and he said that the team will not go out there and they will not pass on the generational talent with the first overall pick. So what does that mean? A lot of analysts have come out and said, well, they're going to take Travis Hunter. Some other analysts are saying they'll take Abdul Carter. They're just forgetting the fact that the Tennessee Titans still need a quarterback. Now, we're going to go through the options that they can do in free agency and also through the NFL draft. But I believe the Tennessee Titans will still target a quarterback with the first overall pick. But let's get into what happened last season. Despite having a top passing defense that ranked second in the NFL and they were number 2 in total defense, this team could not win many football games. They ended up with the worst record in the 2024 season. Their defense against the run wasn't the best. They're in the bottom of the league, but it's hard to go out there and be consistent against the run when your quarterback is fumbling the football and throwing a lot of interceptions. And we have to start off with Will Levis. Will Levis, in his rookie season, he got off to a hot start. He had an amazing game against the Atlanta Falcons. He had 4 passing touchdowns, and he had some highs and he had some lows. He had a solid game against the Steelers in his rookie season, and he had a great win against the Miami Dolphins on the road, Monday Night Football game. So you have to think, entering his sophomore year with a brand new head coach and Coach Callahan, offensive minded, that he'll be set for the right path. Instead, that was not the case. Will Levis, in his second year, 13 passing touchdowns to 12 interceptions, and he did miss time due to being benched and also due to hurting his shoulder. He's a reckless quarterback. You can make the case to put more pieces around Will Levis, but I will say this. We have seen this in the past where you have a quarterback that is a negative on the field. He's holding the team back. It doesn't matter who you have at the running back position. It doesn't matter who you have at the wide receiving position if the quarterback can't stand their own weight. Will Levis is the definition of passing the test in terms of the eye test. He has the look, the arm, the mobility to go out there and be a franchise quarterback, but it's the simple things that he can't do. He can't read certain coverages. He can't read cover 2, and he can't read cover 3 either. He will have good moments, and then the next thing you know, he'll throw a pick 6 that will potentially cost the football team the game. Look at what happened in the Chicago Bears matchup. Caleb Williams only had 95 passing yards. They lost that matchup because Will Levis had 2 interceptions in that game. Obviously, it was a horrible special teams play by the Tennessee Titans, and the Bears were able to capitalize off that. But one of the interceptions were a pick 6 against the New York Jets. He had a fumble in the red zone. Just a stupid play by Will Levis, and Coach Callahan's going out there and he's yelling at him on the sideline. And he just has too many costly turnovers. It is hard to get that out of a quarterback. That is why Jameis Winston has been a journeyman in his entire career in the NFL so far. He will have good moments, but the next thing you know, when you need him the most, he'll throw an interception or he'll have a costly fumble. That is why they cannot go out there and push all their chips in on Will Levis and try to continue to build around him. And also, Will Levis is behind the 8 ball. Mike Vrabel was a huge fan of Will Levis. He's no longer here. The owner came out and basically fired him. Went out there and selected him. Their former general manager, he's no longer in the building. He's out also. So you have a brand new general manager and you have a brand new head coach for Will Levis. It sucks for him. They may move on from Will Levis the same way they did with Malik Willis. But I don't blame this regime for doing it because you didn't select this kid. And you're not going to tie your entire future to him if he can't work out. Maybe with a different team, Will Levis could be a very good starter. But with the Tennessee Titans and the fact that they have the first overall pick, they can't put all their chips in this basket. I'm sorry. And I want to see Will Levis have success elsewhere. Because Will Levis has a deep ball on him. He has all the tools that it takes. It's just a few mechanical issues and the fact that he can't read coverages. But if a coach can go out there and help him out with that, he could be a solid player in this league. And we saw this with Malik Willis. He struggled immensely with the Tennessee Titans. Bad players around him, yes. Lack of talent at the wide receiving position. The offensive line completely terrible. And I'll touch on the offensive line in just a second. But look at Malik Willis now. He's not a starting quarterback. But he beat the Tennessee Titans when he was a starter for the Green Bay Packers this season. He's a quality backup. Maybe Will Levis can find success elsewhere. And when you look at Mason Rudolph, he's just a career backup. He had a good stint with the Steelers a couple of years ago. He won the last 3 games, got them to the NFL playoffs, but he's not going to be a franchise quarterback in this league. The Tennessee Titans, they need a franchise quarterback. When you look at this division, you have Trevor Lawrence. Say what you want to say about Trevor Lawrence. He's made the NFL playoffs. He's won a playoff game. You have CJ in this division with the Houston Texans. He's made the playoffs in back-to-back years. And he's won 2 playoff games in back-to-back years. You have to contend with that. In the Indianapolis Colts, they still have a question mark with Anthony Richardson. And I look at the Titans here. You have to fix your offensive line. This is where we get into the free agency moves and what they can do in free agency, plus the quarterback that they can target in free agency. The offensive line played better for the last 7 games of the regular season. Still wasn't great, but the left side of the offensive line showed a lot of potential. And I'm talking about Peter Skoronski here at the left guard position. As a rookie, he was their best offensive lineman. Not saying much because there was so much terrible talent with this line. But in year number 2, he took another step up. He did start off slow, but Peter Skoronski can be a superstar with the Tennessee Titans. J.C. Latham, the first 4 games, was a lot of ugliness, but he did finish strong. And Coach Callahan brought his dad over. And he's been one of the best offensive line coaches the NFL has ever seen in the last 2 decades. So I trust that he will fix his offensive line. And at the center position, Rand went into free agency and he brought in Cushenberry. Cushenberry was a very good center with the Denver Broncos. Over 900 snaps played, only 1 sack allowed with the Broncos. This was a problem. As soon as he came over to the Tennessee Titans, he was terrible. He may be a system player at best. Not only just that, he tore his Achilles. So he missed majority of this season. He will be back next year, but I don't know if he will be a starter or not. But I look at Cushenberry. If he can go out there and just be solid, that'll be good enough for the Tennessee Titans because the running backs that you have with Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears, it's the right tackle position. You had Nicholas Petit-Frere and Jalen Duncan. Nicholas Petit-Frere is not even a good backup tackle. He's a 3rd stringer at best. Really, he should be at the NFL. Jalen Duncan, there's potential there, but he is so raw as a talent at the right tackle position. And this is the problem. When you're dealing with raw tackles, guys that are very green, they don't have that much experience playing that position, you're going to run into a lot of problems. He will have a lot of good snaps. And then the next thing you know, he gets completely blown by. He has the agility, he has the strength, and he has the size to be a solid tackle with the Tennessee Titans. Hopefully it pans out, but you can go into free agency and bring in a swing tackle, and that will easily patch up this offensive line. I know what Coach Callahan wants to do. He wants the young guys to grow and to develop with each other, and then you can build this offensive line similar to what you did many years ago when Derrick Henry was just running down people's throat over and over again. But it's going to take some time for Peter Skoronski and for J.C. Latham to fully hit their ceiling. And that's okay because right now they're already decent starters. But it's the right side of this line. They need to take care of this in free agency and continue to develop Jalen Duncan. And let's see what he has moving forward. The quarterback position in free agency. Sam Darnold. I'm just going to come out and say it. Sam Darnold should be the quarterback that they're looking at. Not Justin Fields, not Russell Wilson. Let those guys go elsewhere. Let them stay with the Steelers. The reason why I say Sam Darnold, he had a career year this year with the Minnesota Vikings. I know how it ended against the Los Angeles Rams. It wasn't all on Sam Darnold. He did hold on to the football for too long. He did have some costly interceptions in key moments. But Sam Darnold, for the majority of the year in the regular season, was one of the best quarterbacks that you can have. Granted, Kevin O'Connell, quarterback guru. This is the true test of Coach Callahan. If you go out there and bring in Sam Darnold to a 3 to 4 year deal, you'll see if Coach Callahan is legit or not. You continue to fix his offensive line. Kevin O'Connell is a mastermind working with quarterbacks. I'm not saying that Coach Callahan has to be like that with Sam Darnold. But you look at the weapons that Sam Darnold played with the Vikings. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. 2 number 1 wide receivers, one of the best receiving tight ends you can have. You look at the Tennessee Titans, they're not that far off. Calvin Ridley is a very good player. He would have had over 1,000 receiving yards this season easily if they were to just go out there and target him more deep down the field. And he did have 1,000. He did have 1,017 receiving yards on the year for receiving touchdowns, but that is still low for Calvin Ridley. He is supposed to be in the 1,200 to 1,400 yard range in terms of going out there and getting that production. He's a very good wide receiver. I'm not saying that he's a top 5 or a top 10, but he's very talented. Look at what he was able to do with the Atlanta Falcons. And then you have Nick Westbrook-Ikine, who was a touchdown machine for a point in time this year, playing with Will Levis and with Mason Rudolph. So you have weapons on the perimeter, and you have Chig Okongwu at the tight end spot. Now, when you look at Treylon Burks, unfortunately, the Treylon Burks experiment is dead. Treylon Burks is not a good player in this league. I'm sorry. He can't stay healthy. He can't separate on the field, and he can't catch passes. I wanted Treylon Burks to work out, especially because they traded A.J. Brown essentially for Treylon Burks. They traded A.J. Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles, not this management. This was a different regime, different general manager, and they fired him right after, rightfully so. But he traded A.J. Brown, and he traded him to the Philadelphia Eagles. You bring in Treylon Burks from Arkansas, and he was a beast at Arkansas. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to pan out with the Titans. Struggles with injuries. Can't stay consistent on the field of route running, is limited with his route tree, and he's not the 50-50 wide receiver that they were hoping for moving down the field. But you still have good pieces with Calvin Ridley, Nick Westbrook-Akine, and Chig Okongwu at the tight end position. You could bring in another wide receiver. They had Tyler Boyd playing inside the slot. He's not the same guy that he once was many years ago, but you can bring in another solid veteran wide receiver that could fit the system with a guy like Sam Darnold if you want to bring him in. Now, the contract that you will see Sam Darnold get is possibly 3 to 4 years. He'll maybe go out there and get paid $35 million per season, or maybe 40. That's the most. I don't see Sam Darnold going out there and getting paid $50 to $55 million. I don't see that happening. And if a team does go out there and they do it, hey, props to them. That means you're making him your franchise quarterback for the next 4 to 5 years. But when I look at the Tennessee Titans, you can make that type of move to go out there and bring in a veteran guy like Sam Darnold, and then you can build the complete team around. Sam Darnold is not horrible. With the New York Jets, that was just a completely terrible situation. A terrible head coach in Adam Gase, did not have a true offensive line. And you look at him with the San Francisco 49ers. He got to sit behind Brock Purdy. He got to learn that system. And he is still a young quarterback that's in his 20s. So you could possibly build with Sam Darnold if he gives you a good first season. And now look at the defense. The defense, they don't need to touch the defense. They have good pieces all around. Harold Landry can get to the quarterback. He had 9 sacks this year. You have T'Vondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, is amazing against the run. And T'Vondre Sweat, long term, that could be a great tackle duo that you have in the interior of your defensive line. Arden Key gave you 6.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. You have Jerome Baker at the interior linebacker position. I think that you can get better at linebacker. I honestly do. I think that you can bring in some more linebackers to help out the team, either through the NFL draft or in free agency. And like I mentioned before, they're going to have a lot of money. They're not paying a top-tier tackle. They're not paying a franchise quarterback right now. And when you look at the guys that are getting paid a lot of money, Calvin Ridley, it's not that much. Tony Pollard, he is, but he's a running back, and he was very good this season, mixed in with Tyjae Spears, back to the offensive point of this video. But when I look at the rest of the defense, they're going to be fine. They had a top passing defense this season, and L'Jarius Sneed was horrible. And no offense to L'Jarius Sneed. L'Jarius Sneed was very good with the Kansas City Chiefs for many years. They moved on from him because he wanted to get paid a lot of money. Now, they did go out there and they did pay L'Jarius Sneed. That was a Rand move, and they can't move off this contract. He was not good this season when he was fully healthy. And he ended the season on IR. I'm worried about that, because he could be a very good player with the Titans. The problem is they did not use him in the same way that he was being used with the Kansas City Chiefs. Go out there, make him that press man corner, have him play nose to nose, and see if he can be aggressive. And if he can't, just find a way to just put him on the field and just try to get the most out of him that you can. There's still talent there with L'Jarius Sneed. Chidobe Awuzie was their best cornerback this season. You have Roger McCreary also at the nickel position, and you have a money hooker over the top who is the best safety with the Tennessee Titans. Had 5 interceptions, 9 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, and 47 solo tackles. If the Titans were better, a lot of people would be saying that he had one of the best seasons this year for a safety. This man was very good every single game, and I hate that the Tennessee Titans were so bad because he's not going to get his recognition, and the same with Harold Landry. But real Tennessee Titans fans know that a money hooker was a beast this season. And when I look at it from that standpoint, if they go out there, they bring in Sam Darnold, or they bring in a bridge quarterback, you can still select a quarterback with the first overall pick. You don't have to go out there and just say, you know what, Sam Darnold, we paid you for the next 4 years. You are our guy. We're not going to worry about Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. No, you should still go out there and you should still look into drafting a quarterback or moving back from the first overall pick. But like the executive said, they're not going to pass on generational talent. In my opinion, if I'm the Tennessee Titans here, it's a bit of a risk with paying Sam Darnold, because Sam Darnold has only had one good year in his career. He's shown flashes with the New York Jets. He's shown flashes with the Carolina Panthers. That's not good enough. Will Levis has also shown you flashes in the past also, and they're looking to move off of Will Levis from all the reports that I'm seeing. When I look at the quarterbacks in this year's draft class, it's not the best. You hear a lot of analysts say this is one of the weaker quarterback classes. I want you guys to remember something. Remember that Kenny Pickett quarterback class? It was him, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis. That class is weaker than this class. At least you have Cam Ward, who many are saying can be a first-round pick. You have Shedeur Sanders, Colorado. Deion Sanders' son can be a first-round pick. Now, that's it. Those are the only two quarterbacks that I have being selected in the first round. Maybe another kid comes into play. But this quarterback class is not as bad as many analysts are saying compared to that class many years ago with Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, and Malik Willis. That was a completely horrible quarterback class. But when I look at Cam Ward, there's a risk taking Cam Ward here because he is still a project quarterback. Has a massive arm, has some mobility. You can compare him to a baby Josh Allen. He really reminds me of a more refined Will Levis, which a lot of Tennessee Titan fans, if they hear that, they're just going to say, we don't want him. But he does have tighter accuracy moving the football in the intermediate routes. But at the same time, the short accuracy, he will miss a lot of throws, and he'll have some interceptions that make you scratch your head. He needs to develop. The key here is to go out there and give Coach Callahan more than just 2 seasons. Because with your general manager and your head coach, the ownership has come out. You ship those guys off. You fire Rand after 2 years. And that's not going to help your organization move forward. Let your general manager go out there for 3 to 4 years. Let Coach Callahan go out there for a couple of years. Let's see what he has. Let him develop a guy like Cam Ward behind someone like Sam Darnold. And when it's time to move off of Sam Darnold, you slide him into the game plan. Let him sit back, let him develop. Now, Cam Ward's a project. Shedeur Sanders has a lower ceiling, but right now he's more pro ready, in my opinion. And I did have the pleasure of going to the East and West Shrine Bowl practice. And here goes some of the footage right here of what I have taken over the last couple of days. Don't get on me too much. I am not a cameraman. I did not go to school for that. But the consensus in the building was this. Shedeur Sanders met with the Tennessee Titans for a very long time, and he impressed in the interviews. And many people in the Tennessee Titans organization, they really like Shedeur Sanders. And it's a good chance they may look into selecting him with the first overall pick. They still have to meet with Cam Ward, and we are still a couple months away from the NFL draft and the entire process. Now, Shedeur Sanders did not practice at the Shrine Bowl. He did not go out there. He did take some interviews. That was it. And he did walk around. Shedeur Sanders will have a pro day. The Tennessee Titans will be there. The Cleveland Browns will be there. The Steelers will be there. The New York Jets will be there. Pretty much every team within the top 15, they will all be there to look at Shedeur Sanders pro day. Reason why I bring that up, the Tennessee Titans have done this in the past with other quarterbacks, and whenever they do that, more than likely they're enamored with the quarterback. They did this with Will Levis just a couple of years ago. The same with Mike Vrabel and Rand and their scouts. They're more fans of Shedeur Sanders right now as I record this video more than Cam Ward. Not saying that things can't change, but they can. Shedeur Sanders has the accuracy that they're looking for. He's not going to make the same dumb mistakes as a Cam Ward. He's a veteran at the college level. He has played for a very long time, and he played in the pro system with Pat Shurmur, who was a former offensive coordinator in the NFL, and he's a former head coach at this level. And you know that he knows what to expect at this level because Deion Sanders is his dad. I'm not saying that he's going to go out there and be the best quarterback that we've ever seen. But right now, he is more pro ready than Cam Ward. And I do believe that he will also benefit from sitting down if you still select Sam Darnold. Now, you have 2 other prospects that you could bring in. Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter was a talk of the town at the Shrine Bowl practice. Everyone was talking about Travis Hunter. Is he the best player in this draft class? A lot of analysts are saying yes. Some scouts are saying no. Some scouts are saying it was Abdul Carter, the edge rusher from Penn State. Many compare him to Micah Parsons to be even a better version of Micah Parsons. But like I mentioned before, the Tennessee Titans, they could use another pass rusher, but they don't need another pass rusher. You have T'Vondre Sweat. You have Jeffrey Simmons. You also have Harold Landry. And Harold Landry did suffer a torn ACL a couple of years ago. He was able to bounce back from that injury in a very nice way. So Abdul Carter is on the board, but I don't see that happening. Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is a two-way player. The Tennessee Titans have already tried this out with another player, Adoree Jackson. Adoree Jackson was a two-way player at USC, and the Titans, they selected him. He had an up and down career with the Tennessee Titans. Then he went over to the New York Giants. He's been an okay corner. When I look at Travis Hunter, he's a better college player than Adoree Jackson. But can we just be real for a second? Do any of us believe that Travis Hunter is going to play both sides of the football in the NFL? We've seen players try to do this in the past. They flame out very fast. He's a better cornerback than a wide receiver to me. You could bring him in as special packages in the red zone, put him inside the slot. He's not a refined route runner. He's not going to hit the top of his routes over and over again like other wide receivers in this draft class, but he is an explosive playmaker. He has some great catches with Shedeur Sanders at Colorado. I don't know if he can do it on a consistent basis in the NFL because his frame isn't that big, and you'll be going against cornerbacks like Jalen Ramsey. You'll be going against cornerbacks like Marlon Humphrey. L'Jarius Sneed, for example, Trent McDuffie. I don't know if he can do that on a consistent basis. And then when you turn around the next drive, you're asking him to guard the best offensive wide receiver. I find it hard to believe. But if he can play at that level, that's a definition of a generational talent. But like I mentioned before, doesn't matter who you have on the outside. Doesn't matter who you have at the running back position. Doesn't matter who you have at the safety position. If your quarterback can't put the football where it needs to be, and he's constantly putting the football in the other team's hands. I believe the Tennessee Titans, they should still go out there and select the quarterback, even if they pay Sam Darnold a lot of money in free agency. Because look at it from this standpoint. Even if Sam Darnold was to go out there and play very well, you want to move on from Sam Darnold? You can do that. And you can get a draft pick for Sam Darnold. If he plays bad, you can eat the contract. You can move off that contract with how you can label things in his contract. Let's just say he goes out there, he plays terrible, and the contract's fully loaded. You can move off of that contract in year 3, and then you can go with your young quarterback that you selected with the first overall pick. So in my opinion, if I'm the Tennessee Titans, I'm selecting Shedeur Sanders. And from everything that I've heard, Deion Sanders will have a say, but it's not like how many people are saying. A lot of analysts and a lot of scouts are overblowing this. Deion Sanders doesn't want his kid to go into a bad situation. That is what he said. And he said that he will go out there and he will make sure of that. But at the same time, it will come down to Shedeur. And does Shedeur Sanders want to play for the Tennessee Titans? And he's come out and he said that he doesn't mind. He just wants to be in the NFL. He is not the cocky, arrogant kid that a lot of people are trying to make him be. He's a good leader with that Colorado team. He had bad moments as an underclassman. Yes, he did, but he grown and he matured. A lot of hate that Shedeur Sanders is getting is because he is the son of Deion Sanders. And not too many people were fans of Deion Sanders when he was playing football with the San Francisco 49ers and also with the Dallas Cowboys. So when I look at it from that standpoint, they will be okay. All the Tennessee Titans have to do is to go out there and make the right moves. But it comes down from ownership. She has to be patient with the team moving forward. But regardless, this should be a fun offseason for the Tennessee Titans. And they could be one of those teams. Look at the Washington Commanders. They selected Jaden Daniels. They went to the NFC Championship game. Look at CJ in your own division. This is what a quarterback can do for you if you hit on that quarterback position and you bring him in. And the Tennessee Titans, they're not that far off with the talent that they have. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about the Tennessee Titans and what should they do with the first overall pick? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.